So, good morning, everyone. So, my name is Moro Abdul-Jamiu, and I'm from and I'm from Ghana. So I'm very happy to share my story at this year's StutterFest. So I'm going to talk about myself, my journey as a person who stammer, and also about a book that I wrote, but I'm yet to publish, which is titled Tangled Tank. Yes. So, as I said earlier, my name is Abdul-Jamiu Moro, and I am the 10th born of my family of 16 children. My dad had three wives, and my mom was the third wife, and I'm the 10th born of my dad. And in the whole family, I am the only one who started. So I grew up in a very remote town in the middle belt of Ghana. That's after Kintampo. That's if you are familiar with Ghana. So it's a very remote town, about only 500 people in the town. And uh, growing up there, we had a lot of challenges, and education was something that was education was very low. The highest educational level someone usually reaches maybe completing GHS, and very few make it to senior high. That was because the school didn't have a junior high school. So we used to walk for like 25 kilometers to the next town to go to junior high school. That's after you've completed your primary school. So you have to be enrolled in the junior high school at a different town where you have to walk like 25 kilometers every day. So but when we got to class six, that's about to complete the primary, uh, the school headmaster decided to establish a junior high school in our town. And at that time, there was no building, so we had to come up with our own infrastructure. And this was how my school was. So this is the school that I attended, and so so it was a long tent line, and it was divided into three. So that's the JHS one, JHS two, and JHS three. And for we as the first batch, we were having like 14 students, and at the right now I was the only one who has made it to the university and has completed. And so that was because the school had only one teacher when we were in junior high school one, when we were in JHS one, we had only one teacher handling about five subjects. So we were not learning a lot of the subject. We got to Form 2 before we had other teachers to join him and take some of the subject from him. Yes. So this was my badge, and the picture beside it was where the teachers sat. So that was like the teachers' office. So yes. So before I talk about my book, I would like to highlight a few points about my culture personally and how stammering is seen. So, like my culture, like this, if you're a child, you usually don't have a voice. Yours is to just listen, and in any conversation, whether you are in the house or outside, if you are talking to an elderly person, yours is to listen. You you don't have a say in the conversation. And if you're a stammerer, that becomes worse. For you, most people like the way they talk to you differs a lot. And some so usually if you're a stammerer, some of the treatment options they will tell you is that uh when it rains, because in our community, most of the houses were using grass, so it was it don't not using zinc, the zinc up. It was the grass like the picture you see on the screen. So uh, they will tell you that you should collect the water whenever it rains so that you'll be drinking that water and it will help you cure your stammering. And some to go to the extent of saying that when it rains, the water that is collected on the road, usually not the tarred road, the rough road, will tell you to go and collect that water and be drinking, and it will cure your stammering. And some to say you should eat they will give you some food to be eating, which is very much not healthy. Yes. So uh one key moment that changed my stammering was that because of my stammering, always in school, although I was the brightest student in school, both in primary and JHS and even in senior high school. I mostly don't answer questions in class. I although I most of the time when they ask the question, I know the answer, but I don't raise my hand because of fear of stammering and being laughed at. So most of the time, what I do is that I'll write my answer on a sheet. Then when the teacher is going round, I'll just show him my answer. So that was how I used to do in school. And uh, although I was having stammering, but one thing that helped me a lot was that a lot of my teachers believed in me, and they tried to help me. So some of the teachers even uh, um, um, give me opportunity to teach in class, uh, especially in math courses, because I was very good in math and in science. So sometimes they give me opportunity to teach in class, and I think that was something that helped me a lot in my journey. And one key incident was also that there was this inter-school competition where it was a quiz competition. So different schools will go to a radio station to go and compete. So this school faced the other school, then they'll ask you questions. So I was selected to be part of my school's competitors, and I uh, I don't know how I did it, but on that particular day, I was able to perform very well, and the stammering didn't affect me that much. So I think it boosts my confidence. So and when I got to the university, so the book I wrote is actually about it's a fictional book, but it's more of my personal story as someone who stammer and a fiction. So it's about a guy named Ali who also came from a remote uh, town like that, and he was able to go through his struggles as someone who stammer, uh, being mocked, being ridiculed, and all the things that they do to stammers, going through everything, and he was able to make it to the university, but the challenges became very high in the university level because the university you have to be doing you have to be you have to be doing presentation in class, and you have to go for group discussions and all those things. So the story is about how Ali went through all those struggles, and the turning point for him was that he was very good academically, and his final year research work uh, got a lot of attention that the the country's Department of Agriculture developed interest in his paper, in his final year paper, and he had to go and do presentation in front of in front of students, in front of professors, and also government officials, right? So it's about how he's going to conquer his fear of public speaking and go through that presentation to the government officials and the professors and also the student, right? So uh, I was trying to so in the story I tried to portray the struggles that people who stammer go through in their daily life, in speaking, in having day-to-day conversation with people, in doing presentation, or just to go to a store to buy something, it becomes a challenge for people who stammer. So that's the picture I tried to portray in the story. Yes. So and most of the things I said, although it's a fictional story, but the feeling, the emotions that's involved in the story is very personal. Is most of it is something that I went through myself as someone who stammer, and things that my friends and colleagues who also stammer has also gone through that I was trying to like put in a form of a story. Is so so in some of the things that I went through was being mocked at because especially when I was in SHS and junior high, uh, I take it too personal when someone talk about my stammering or say something bad to me because of my stammer. I used to take it very personal, and it used to hurt me a lot. But I think I've been able to manage that very well now. And there also the other thing was the weight of expectation because I was I'm the first person from my family out of the 16 children that my dad had to go to university and also to complete university. So the expectation was very high on me, and I also as someone who stammered to manage that. So sometimes when we have a meeting as a family, they eh, eh, they see you differently. They expect something from you, and how to communicate with them even becomes a problem. And the other things I faced was missing some opportunities because I had this perception that because I stammer, I'm not qualified for certain opportunities. So I don't even um, try to go in for it. And something I would have changed if I was back in university was making a lot of friends. Because of my stammer, I had very few friends in the university because I interacted very little. Even when we go to group discussions, I my interaction was very minimal. Not because I didn't know about I don't have any knowledge about the discussion, or I don't have views, but um, how to communicate those views and my thought was a big challenge to me. So my interaction was very low. And the biggest of it all was speaking in public. It was like my tongue was always like a battlefield for me because uh, I had to struggle to speak in public and fearing that people will mock at me and so sometimes it's not all about the people, it's also about ourselves because we stammer sometimes when we stand in front of people to think the perception that we have that people are going to mock at me, they feel pity of me, also put pressure on us, and it increases the fear of speaking in public. So the but what helped me in my university life was that in the university whether I liked it or not, I had to speak. And because if I'm having a if I'm having a presentation, I know if I don't show up, I'm going to lose my mark. So I had to speak. So I had a lot of uh, presentations to do, and I think it boosts my confidence, and and it helped me in my public speaking a lot. And now I I'm very much confident in speaking in public. I don't shy away from it as I used to do. Whenever the opportunity comes, I just go for it. I'm not afraid of stammering. And uh, the trick that I've discovered is that the more confident I am, the less I stammer. Because I have the confidence of speaking now, I see that whenever I'm speaking in public, usually the beginning is quite difficult, as you saw from the beginning of my presentation. The beginning is quite difficult, but when I get the momentum, I'm able to flow much better.
Well, you definitely have it today. So if
Thank you.
you could give us one thought to take away from your amazing presentation, um, I could listen to you for hours. I really could because I think that you're incredible speaker and very inspiring. If you could give us one point to take away from your presentation today, what would that be, Abdul?
Okay, so I that would, if I'm to give one point, I would say that it's not about how you speak, but it's about what you say. You should know that need- I need less supervision to perform my task, because most of the time I used to do things alone, and I try to find my way around things. So I kind of need less supervision in order to complete the tasks that I have.
I noticed one of the things you mentioned earlier was that teachers supported you when you were younger, or you had some teachers support you. That seems like it's so important for kids. How did that impact you?
Yes, yes. So growing up, my teachers really supported me, because most of the classes that I was in, I was mostly the brightest student in the class, and they give me a lot of tasks to perform. Sometimes to even copy their notes and to write notes on the board for the student, for other student to copy, and they engaged me a lot, and I think the belief that they had in me to lead in most of this activity helped me to step forward whenever any opportunity comes on my way. Yes, and I think it's very, very important for students, especially kids who stammer, when we believe in them and make them understand that although they stammer, but that that does not mean they can't compete with the other kids to take up some responsibilities in class. I think it will help boost their confidence.
So I've got a question for you, Abdul. Do you tell your students that you stutter? And if so, how do you do that?
Okay, so uh, I don't usually tell them that I stutter. I but because I know that they will eventually find out. So I mostly don't tell them that I stutter. I just do what I have to do.
How do your students react when you stutter, when you block? How do they react?
Most of them, they don't talk about it, but you can see from their faces that they are kind of shocked. Some of them, they are surprised that one has reached the high and able to like step forward in those. So the thing is that now I'm not in academia. I've completed, but I had more interaction with students after my completion. You know, in Ghana here, when you finish university, there is a 1 year compulsory service that you have to do for the state. And w- what I did was I served as a teaching assistant to a professor at my college. So I was organizing tutorials and teaching other students. So most of them, they feel they, you see that they are mostly surprised, and some of them they want to approach you, but they are um they don't feel comfortable, or they don't feel comfortable approaching you, because you can see that the person has something to say, but the person doesn't want to say it because you stutter. Yes, they are afraid to approach you to ask some questions.
Do you
Yeah.
think that your students felt more comfortable with you because of your stutter? Did that draw them closer to you in any way? Did you feel that?
Uh, s- uh, yes, in a way, some of them felt more comfortable, and some of them too, um, not that much. I remember there was an incident that one time after a tutorial, one of the students approached me and she was so happy. She was very much motivated because she said her cousin also stammer, and he never speaks in in public. He was always afraid to speak in public. So like she has always tried to like encourage him to like speak in public, but it's not yielding any results. So when she saw me tutoring the students, she was very much happy. She approached me and she was telling me about that story, and I felt um very good about it.
It's if I well understood, the teachers were very important, and university environment was very supportive too for you, and was very important to build your confidence, right? Can you talk a bit more about the university, the role that university had in building your 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 confidence, please?
Okay, thank you. Uh, so um, so for the university as an institution, I didn't have much support. I didn't see any initiative from the university for people who stammer or that. But I think the support came from friends that I had, the little friends that I had. They were very supportive to me. And I think one key thing is that the professor that I served under after I completed, he was very key in my university journey. He was my supervisor for my final year paper, and I was having more interaction with him in my final year. I didn't have the intention of serving as a teaching assistant after completing. I didn't have that intention. But um, during my interaction with him, I don't know what he saw in me personally, but he asked me to come and serve as his teaching assistant. And that was something very important to me because I didn't see that I didn't see myself in that role of standing in front of students and teaching them, because I had a fear of even speaking in public already, and he asked me to come and serve as his teaching assistant was something that I was very happy about, and so I thought to myself, okay, then why don't I go in for it and see how it's going to build my confidence, and I saw it as an opportunity to improve myself, and I went for it, and it went really great.